Welcome to another episode of Terry's Notes, and I am going to be looking at the January 2017 paper, question 2. So the first part of the question asks, give us two fractions, and we want to express it as a single fraction. Alright, so one sec. Okay. So we have two fractions here. We have 2x plus 3 over 3 plus x minus 4 over 4. So we're going to add it like if we add two fractions. So the LCM of 3 and 4 is 12. Okay. So 3 can go into 12 4 times. Right? So what I'm saying is 12 over 3 will give me 4. Right? 4 times. So I'm going to take that 4 and I'm going to multiply by the top, which will be 4 multiplied by 2x plus 3. We're going to write back the sign here, plus. Now 12 into 4, or 4 into 12, this will be 12 over 4. Right, so 4 can go into 12 3 times. So this will be 3 multiplied by the top piece here, which is x minus 4. Alright, so the steps are, you find the LCM of the two numbers here, the 3 and the 4, and that's how we got 12. Then we need to take this 3 and see how many times it can go into 12. So it can go into 12 4 times. That's where I got this 4 from. Then this 4 can go into 12 3 times. Right, so this is where I got this 3 from here. So what we need to do, we need to simplify the top. So because you have brackets, you're going to do this. You're going to take 4 and multiply by 2x. And then you're going to take 4 and multiply by plus 3. So 4 multiplied by 2x will give me 4 2s are 8x plus 12. Right? Then we're going to take plus 3 and multiply by x, which will give me plus 3x, and then we're going to take plus 3 and multiply by minus 4, which will give me minus 12, and this is all over 12. So we deal with the x's. So we have 8x plus 3x will give me 11x, plus 12 minus 12 will give me 0, and this will be over 12. So the single fraction is 11x over 12. Okay. Okay, so this part of the question, write the following statement as an algebraic expression. The sum of a number and its multiplicative inverse is 5 times the number. So let's assign x, or let x be the number we're talking about. So they said the sum of a number and its multiplicative inverse. So we are going to add a number and its multiplicative inverse. The multiplicative inverse of a number is 1 over that number. Right? So this will be 1 over x. So we are saying that the sum, remember sum means to add. So we are saying that x plus the multiplicative inverse of the number, which is 1 over x, is equal to 5. So that is 5 times the number. Remember the number is x. So it's 5x. Right? So the statement is x plus 1 over x is equal to 5x. Right? And this part here, we have two types of expressions that we need to factorize. So the first one, x squared minus 36. You all need to be able to spot the difference of two squares, and that is if we have an expression like this, a squared minus b squared, it is equal to a plus b in brackets multiplied by a minus b. Right? That expression is what we call the difference of two squares. So x squared minus 36 is the difference of two squares. Why? Because 36 can be written as 6 squared. So x squared minus 6 squared, we can write that as x plus 6 and x minus 6. Right? So that is how we factorize that. This is a difference of two square numbers, x squared and 36. The second part that we need to factorize is a quadratic expression, 2x squared plus 5x minus 12. Now, if you all had looked at my video regarding factorizing, we know that we need to find two numbers whose sum is 5 as the middle term in the expression, and whose product is equal to 2 multiplied by minus 12. So the product is minus 12 twos are 24. So we need to think about this. I want two numbers. When I add them up, I'm going to get, when I multiply them, I'm going to get minus 24. And when I add them, I'm going to get 5. So if I have, let's say, okay, so, all right, so two numbers. If we try 12 and minus 2, that would not be it. If we try 8 and 8 and minus 3. So 8 multiplied by minus 3 will give me minus 24, and 8 plus minus 3 will give me 5. So the two numbers we are looking for are 8 and minus 3. So what do? We replace the middle term, which is the 5x. So it'll be 2x squared plus, and we're going to replace it by using 8x minus 3x, right? That's why we needed the two numbers here. So we're going to replace the middle term. And we're going to write back minus 12 here. Now we're going to simply factorize by grouping, right? So we're going to group these two, and we're going to group these two. So the HCF of 2x squared and 8x will be, we can pull out 2. Oh, sorry, 2, it'll be 2x, sorry. X here, and this will be plus 4, right? Because 2x multiplied by x will give me 2x squared, and 2x multiplied by 4 will give me plus 8x, right? Now we need to factorize this piece here. The only thing we can pull out here is 3. Now here's where the student's going to get trouble. They're going to try to decide if they're going to put a minus sign or a plus sign here. So remember, when you're factorizing by grouping, one of the brackets has to be the same thing. So I already know that there should be, or this should be, x plus 4 inside this bracket. So if I put minus here and I put x here plus 4, minus 3 multiplied by x will give me minus 3x, and minus 3 by plus 4 will give me minus 12. So that is good. And therefore the final answer will be x plus 4, which is a common factor here, and then you're going to put 2x minus 3, right? And that is how you factorize 2x squared plus 5x minus 12. Now there are some students who can just look at it and write, like factorize it immediately, right? I'm just showing you these steps so that if you get an expression where you're having trouble with, you need to first find your sum and your product, replace the middle term, and then factorize by grouping. Let's move on. All right, so in this part of the question, we have an expression which is V is equal to pi r squared h, which is the volume of a cylinder, and we want to make r the subject of the formula. What does that mean? It means that I want an expression that says r is equal to something, and we need to find that something. So what I would do, I would first write it as pi r squared h is equal to v. I want my r on the left hand side. Then I need to get rid of pi and get rid of the h. In order to do that, we must divide both sides of the equation by pi h. So this is pi h, right? So what I've done here is divide both sides of my equation by pi h. The next thing we have r squared here. So if you want to get r, what we need to do is find the square root on both sides. So this will be r is equal to v over pi h, right? So we find square roots on both sides. Square root on both sides of the equation. Alright, so therefore r is equal to the square root of v divided by pi h. And the last part of the question, we have, they told us that x squared plus ax plus b is equal to x plus 2 all squared minus 3. Work out the value of a and b. So this is essentially what they've done here. They've given us an identity, right? So what we need to do, we have x squared plus ax plus b. And on the right hand side, we have x plus 2 squared minus 3. Right, so in order to square this, x plus 2 squared is the same as saying x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 2 minus 3. Alright, if we have two brackets to multiply, we take the first term in the first bracket and we multiply by the first term in the second bracket. So we end up with x squared. We take that same first term and multiply by the second term. So x multiplied by 2 will give me plus 2x. Then we're going to take the second term in the first bracket and multiply by the first term in the second bracket. So 2 multiplied by x will give me 2x. And then we're going to take the second term in the first bracket and multiply by the second term in the second bracket. So 2 multiplied by 2 is equal to 4. Right? Minus 3. So simplifying this, we get x squared. 2x plus 2x will give me 4x. And 4 minus 3 will give me 1. Right? So now we have x squared plus ax plus b is equal to x squared plus 4x plus 1. So what you realize is that you have a quadratic expression on one side and a quadratic expression on the other side. So what we need to do, we need to compare coefficients. What is a coefficient? If we have something like 4x, the coefficient of x is 4. If we have minus 2x, the coefficient of x is minus 2. Right? So the coefficient is the number just in front of that thing we are talking about. So we have ax here and we have 4x here. Therefore, equating coefficient, we are saying that ax must be equal to 4x. Therefore, a must be equal to 4. Right? So we just worked out a. Now b is equal to this. So b is equal to 1. Right? So this is an identity where we have to equate coefficients to determine a and b. Okay?